play with a lot more spirit today, more consistent with how we try to do things. But we just got out-toughed. I mean, there's just no other way to offensive rebounding was a big thing in this game, keep them off the glass, and then we have to get on the glass. And we didn't either. Never put up a fight in ball screen coverage. I mean, it was just wasn't good. And it's hard for us to simulate when we play guys like Nimhart and even Johnson, because they're so aggressive off the bounce that we don't have guys that are very aggressive off the bounce on our team. So it's hard to simulate that in practice. And then lastly, we in the second half we're fighting, we're battling, and defensively we're doing a little bit better. We cut it to one, and we had 3 consecutive awful turnovers, deflating turnovers. So now we're down in 7, 8 point hole again, and we battle and cut it to 2, and we have 2 consecutive deflating turnovers. And I'm all for going to make a play, drive the ball, they take a charge, they call it, it is what it is. But just taking the ball and just kind of throwing it to the other team, those are deflating plays. And, and then lastly, and then obviously I'll answer whatever you got, we just can't score at the rim. We're a one-man band scoring at the rim, and that's with Mike Kotsar, and that's not his strength. And so when you don't score at the rim, you got to make jump shots. And obviously we didn't make enough jump shots today.
Frank, you mentioned the ball screen defense before, and you've switched some of the guards around. What do you guys have to do to just try to get better there?
Dave, at the end of the day, if you're a boxer, you're going to walk in the ring and you're going to get punched in the face. If you don't want to get punched in the face, I think you need to find a new profession. You're a football player. You're going to have to get behind your pads, and you're going to have to deal with a real collision. And whoever gets out of the way or falls down, that's who's going to lose that play. In basketball, you got to guard the basketball. And if you can't put up a fight when you're guarding the basketball, it makes it really hard to win the game. And you can talk schemes and this and that, and okay, so a couple times we tried to get the ball out of Nimhart's hands, and he'd just throw it to the next guy, and then that guy would just put his head down and drive us. And you give up straight line drives. I don't know if you comprehend what I mean by straight line drives. That means there's no foot fake, there's no ball faking. There's not a change of direction. It's just take the ball and go in a straight line to the basket. Help defense really becomes irrelevant. Today we had a chance to try and take 3 or 4 charges, and outside of Minaya, no one else even tried. They all got out of the way. Those are things that I've got to fix. I don't know how I fixed the toughness part, getting your tail kicked on the glass. Not putting up a fight guarding the basketball. Those aren't. If you don't like contact, probably football and basketball aren't the right sports to play. And I don't know how I fixed that one. Other than put them in a charge drill and put them in rebounding drills, which we do. Put them in ball screen defense, which we do. But, ownership, guys you got to get tired of getting punched in the face. You got to punch back. And at least that's what I did when I was a kid. I got tired of getting hit. I eventually hit back.
Frank, it seemed like Trey kind of gave you a lift there at the end of the first half. What does he need to do to get more time, beyond that in the second half?
Of all the people in this room, you're the last one I thought would ask me that question. Let's talk about the guys that I actually played.
Are you optimistic this team can get better from here?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we laid down today. I mean, the other day was embarrassing, and I think I expressed that to you. But before the other day, we were playing real well. We practiced pretty good this week. Yesterday was kind of quiet. It's not like we didn't practice well. It was very quiet. Like Justin Mackey was here. He says, "What's wrong with these guys?" I said, "What? What do you mean?" He says, "No one's saying a word." And I said, "Yeah, that's kind of par for the course with these guys sometimes." But our spirit was pretty good. I mean, it's not like we got run off the court. I mean, we're in a 2-point game with 4 to play or whatever it is, and but to be able to overcome that hump, we got to clean up some of those toughness plays. And I don't even know if tough is the right word. It's just those ownership. Maybe ownership's a better word. It's you can't get taken off the dribble like you're not even there. If you got backside rotation responsibility, you can't get halfway there and get out of the way. If you got a chance to take a charge, you got to take it. And those are things that cost us this game today. So we got to clean. And the rebounding. What we shoot for the game, 36-7%, something like that. So there's a lot of offensive rebounds to be had. And if you eliminate the 3 or 4 we grabbed at the end of the game there, we really didn't even put up a fight on the glass. I mean, so those are things that rebounding is a desire thing. It's a willingness to engage in contact and go after the ball. And, we've gotten better at a lot of things, but to win these kind of games, we have to do those things better.
Frank, 2 things. I guess, what did you see from AJ and Jair tonight on both sides of the court? And I guess with Jermaine, is the hope he's back for Tennessee on Saturday?
Yeah, AJ and Jermaine, neither one, they both play off their jump shot. And so offensively, Jair struggles getting by people off the dribble. He plays off his jump shot. I knew that when we recruited him. AJ can do it, and for whatever reason, he was just passive. He just didn't go. And the times he went, he didn't make positive plays. I thought defensively, their spirit was good, but then you get put in a ball screen every single play. And that's why I brought boxing up as the analogy. When you step in the ring, the guy you're fighting is going to keep hitting you. It's not like he's going on, he's not going to say, "Oh, okay, I'm tired of punching you. Let me stop so you can hit me a couple times." When you're guarding the ball, you're in a fight. It's me and him, and you got to keep fighting. We gave in guarding Nimhart. We just gave in, and that was disappointing. What was the second part? You asked me about those 2 guys. Yeah, I got no idea. He there's nothing structurally wrong. He tweaked his back like I told you guys, and it was all muscle spasms. And I thought he was going to practice yesterday, and he did not. The shoot around today kind of went through things half speed, and I'm not into putting guys on the court that mentally aren't prepared to go out there and lay it on the line.
Yeah, with Jermaine out, his minutes obviously had to go somewhere. TJ got a lot of those tonight. Earlier this year, you talked about his energy and his defensive ability. What do you see from him right now that makes him get those minutes?
TJ Moss? Yeah, TJ gives us probably our most intelligent player at the guard spot, like from an understanding standpoint. He's got to he had a real bad turnover today, and he has a tendency of having like a bad turnover at a bad moment. He had 2 of them. One where he just threw it to the guy in front of him. The other one, he's trying to pass it to Keshawn, and he threw it out of bounds. And it's a pass that we say don't make. That the angle he threw that ball, we just say don't make that pass. But he's a very intelligent player. He's usually in the right spot. He knows what we're trying to do. He knows where he belongs. Where TJ has to continue to make the adjustment, just like their freshman guards, is with the speed of college basketball. That's where his biggest adjustment's at. And if you look at Florida's freshman guards, they struggle with that right now, and that's why the ball's in Nimhart's hands almost every single possession because it's hard. So TJ's trying to make that adjustment.
How do you think Keshawn's doing, kind of since he's been on his way back from injury, and where is he, do you think? I know you talked about how well he played in the preseason. Where is he right now in terms of getting back to that?
I didn't think he played with much aggression in the first half. I thought he was the physicality part was not very good. He had 0 rebounds at the half. I don't know what he ended up with. 4. He had 0 at half. If he would have put up an effort on the glass in the first half, maybe he ends up with 8. And, he would have played a more complete game. That's with Keshawn, everything is consistency. With Keshawn, everything is not being laid back. He's a competitive young man. He has unbelievable ability. I think you saw some of it in the second half. He's become a better basketball player. Last year, he just run and dunk. That's all he could do. He's becoming a better basketball player. He made some great passes today out of tempo, just like probing the defense and letting the cutter finish his cut and then make the pass. And I think it was to Justin in the first half. On Justin, we're running a dribble handoff series, and he kind of saw the defense sleeping. And, last year he would just killed his dribble. This year he kept his dribble alive, and he just waited that extra second and, boom, hit Justin for a layup. And then he had another one, Kotsar maybe, in the second half there. Those are plays he couldn't make last year. So with him is just finding consistency with his aggression, for lack of better words. Like he made some aggressive plays today, trying to go score at the rim, and he missed there in the second half. And somebody's got to do it. And those were good plays. He's got to learn how to go finish that. But, second half, I thought he played pretty well.
Frank Kotart with 18 points tonight. We've seen this consistent play with him in terms of just being able to get the offensive production. What have you seen just going into this year? Because it seems like he's kind of struggled the last 2 years in terms of trying to get that consistency with scoring.
Yeah, his mindset has been really good from day one. I thought he was he had, once again, like when he messes up a ball screen coverage, it sticks out because you're not used to him messing up a ball screen coverage. And he messed up one today. And, and then a couple times they tried to just, like I was playing Kotsar and Wildens, was it, and Kotsar and Frink, and they tried to just spread us and throw it to Johnson and say, just go. He couldn't. He guarded him and kept him in front, and we had no one else that was willing to fight to keep Johnson in front when he played off the bounce. And Mike's been great. He's playing so aggressive offensively. Like he had a chance to go dunk that ball today. Like that one play, I don't know what he was doing. He shot like some little flimsy finger roll and miss. That's the old Kotsar, But he's playing so aggressively. I obviously got to, in the half court, I've got to run more stuff for him right now than what we're doing, which he deserves because of the way he's playing.
Kind of been a month since you tinkered with the starting lineup a little bit after the Houston game. Do you feel like you're getting the most out of those changes you made, moving AJ more on the ball, or is it time to, or are you getting the consistency from that you want, or do you want to maybe tweak some things as you kind of move forward?
I'm not real happy right now, but I'm not. Those aren't decisions I'm going to make after a game. It worked out pretty good. Who do we play? Clemson, Virginia, and then you can sit around and that's in performance, and you can say, well, this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy. the end of the day, your guards set the tone for your team. And our guards set the tone for our team that day. And it's not like neither one of them tried today. They were engaged. I mean, one took 17 shots, was it? 15 and 14. So they were engaged. The ball didn't go in the basket for them, but they were engaged. I wish they would have put up a better fight defensively than what they did, but they were engaged. But I'm not. Once again, we became a real quiet team in the second half, and that bothers me. That's what my concern is. I'm not into rah and and jumping up and down when things are good. I'm into standing up tall and standing strong when things are difficult. And right now, every time things get difficult, we get very quiet. And I think that's guards. That's where the responsibility starts at. It's we got to get better. That's one area that we have to get a lot better at.
Coach, just then 2 quick questions on a follow to that. I mean, do you bring a guard in then maybe privately to try to get them to be that guy that maybe they're not comfortable being right now? And secondly, do you think just maybe getting to a normal flow of like games as opposed to these long breaks in between will be beneficial for this team moving forward?
Yeah, to the first part of your first question there, Joe, believe me, I don't wait till a game like today to do those things. It's those conversations have been had with every single person on our basketball team countless times, and all you can do is keep pushing and keep speaking until somebody finally decides they want to take ownership of that moment. And right now we're searching. And yeah, I think now that we get back to playing more, the practice time was much needed for this team. It's like I told you guys earlier, I thought we practiced fairly well this week, and that's why we came out and played fairly well. I mean, it's we just defensively, I wasn't happy with I'm gonna regurgitate this, but I don't want anyone to misinterpret this into saying that Frank wasn't happy with his team's effort. Our ball screen defense was not good. At the end of the day, they made more shots than we did. When we couldn't score at the rim in the second half, we needed jump shots to go in, and they did not. Theirs did. Nimhart comes off a ball screen 2 times and makes a 3. And, we couldn't make a 3. And so we at the end of the day, you got to make – if you're not going to score at the rim, then like 2 years ago, before Frank Booker got going, we were a Chris Silva at the rim team. And that's what gave us a chance to win. And then as Frank Booker learned and Justin started making threes, we became a pretty good team as the year went on. This year, scoring at the rim has been a problem for this team the whole year. And all we can do is keep pushing. And but the energy that we played with today, we got to play with consistently with that. And then the toughness, the willingness to guard the basketball and say, no, you are not going to beat me off the dribble. You better try it on that guy, not me. That's what we're searching for right now.
So, Coach, you mentioned 2 of the problems you saw tonight were the toughness on defense, and then in the second half, the guys getting quiet again while they were down. Which of those problems is harder to fix as a coach, or do you kind of see them maybe as being one and the same sometimes?
Probably the first. Denny Clemente, I'm going to use him real quick. Denny Clemente was 5'10", 170 pounds. Hated to play defense. When I mean hated, I mean he hated to play defense. And when he transferred to me at K-State, I said to him, Denny, here's the deal. If you guard the ball and you buy into what I'm saying, on offense, I will turn you loose. I never had to say another word to him. He had substance. He just didn't like to play it, but he had, I can't say the word, stones. Is that kind of popular word? And so I never had to tell him again. He guarded that. They tried to ball screen him, couldn't. And and it wasn't his deal. He didn't like it. But he wanted to win, and he understood that if he did that part, then on offense, whatever I told him, like, you can shoot this ball, just work at it, he'd work at it. And but then again, when he played for me, he was 21 years old, not 18. And so that has something to do with it too. But I think that's guarding the basketball, the toughness, the willingness to box out, the willingness to go after a ball when it's in the balance. I think those are harder to fix. There's no drill that you can do that improves that. And the ones that you can do, then I'd be in Kevin O'Connell's office tomorrow morning, getting called in for being a mean human being. So it's hard to fix that. That's got to be an intrinsic thing.
Frank, I'm sure you're unaware of this, but there's a video kind of surfacing from tonight's game. It looks like you're trying to tell McCrary just to check in the final minutes of the first half. Some Gamecock fans are upset by it. I just wanted to give you an opportunity because I know you know how society is today and how they just look at something, so I just wanted to give you an opportunity just to explain that.
You talking about when I told him to check in the game?
That's what it looked
and there was a
like.
30-second timeout?
Yep.
And he wouldn't, he was like walking, and I kind of shoved him to go to the table?
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, so people are mad?
Some people are.
That's what happened. I don't know.
I know. I just wanted to
Yeah.
give you that opportunity.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'll hug him and carry him, put him at the table, and say, please tell him you're checking in the game.